Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cold War Narratives Are Relevant Again. Yay! So today we're going to be talking about There Will Come Soft Rains, a short story by Ray Bradbury. Khrushchev and Kennedy/Truman were in the middle of an intercontinentally ballistic pissing match where both sides had the power to wipe half the Earth clean, and if one side did it, the other side would as well. There was a very real chance the human race could just wipe itself out. Alas, we aren't here to discuss history today, though. I simply want to give you a frame of reference for the time in which the story was written. There Will Come Soft Rains is a short story wherein we watch a smart house attempt to stand the test of time and keep itself clean and prepped for a family whose only remains were carbon shadows burned into one of its walls. Carbon shadows, if you're unaware, are places where after an explosion the walls or structures are less burned because something was in front of the structure that kept it from being exposed to the full effect of the heat. Now, I don't actually like this story that much. I don't know, call me too nitpicky, but it just seems like a case of good premise, bad execution. You know, like everything I make, this video included. There's just a bunch of little things that take me out of the story too much, like how cold glasses of milk are dispensed with the bacon and eggs through the hot oven. Or how the dog just drops dead in the middle of running circles. I get that it had tumors growing on its tumors, but then how was it running circles in the first place? Or how a ball filled with air left a carbon shadow when it definitely wouldn't have had enough mass. Or how a building that could succumb to normal fire and was not made of solid concrete could withstand a nuke dropped close enough to it that the family would leave carbon shadows. There just wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it is my point. But I get it. This was a short story written as a metaphorical preemptive backhand. A sort of, please just sort your shit out and quit poking the man with the nukes. Despite my nitpicks, there is plenty to gain from this story though. For one, it is a very tragic read, and if you need something depressing to make you feel better after a long day, this'll do the trick. It also presents an interesting case for something I love about humanity. We will pack bond with fucking anything. I'm not entirely sure how this helped us evolutionarily, except possibly through our prolonged history of use of animal labor, such as dogs and oxen. Humans that took better care of their dogs had dogs that were more willing to defend them, you get it. Honestly, we could go into a whole video about how humans and dogs evolved together, but that's for another time. Anyway, tangents aside, humans will pack bond with anything, even a house. As long as it expresses even faint characteristics we can relate to on some level, some of us will bond with it. So, say we have a house that can speak and do chores. Well, I speak quite frequently, and despite what my roommates will tell you, I do occasionally do chores, so I can relate to that. This is also why the story includes a little tangent about how the house is afraid of birds, even though it kinda hurts the pacing. These traits get us invested in the house, and thus fill us with one of my favorite emotions to get out of a story. I honestly don't have a name for it. Maybe there is one, y'all can let me know down in the comments. It's a somber feeling, one that you get when you see something that is not necessarily of simpler mind than you, but something that will never understand what's happening to it. A nearly or completely immortal being that exists to be cared for, waiting eternally for its caretaker to return. We, the audience, know it never will, but even if we were there, we couldn't explain that to it. It just wouldn't or couldn't understand. Honestly, the author really didn't need to kill the house in the end. It would have been perfectly powerful to watch it tick out into eternity. That said, the way he killed it does something interesting to us. When the house is burned down, it leaves a single wall standing. I guess this wall has a unique power source because the wall continues to speak, repeating the date 3 times every morning as the sun rises, till it too one day rots away. Now this begs the question, what is this story about? Like, I get that it's about, please don't kill everyone in a rain of cancer and fire, but what is the story saying on a higher level? For the grand majority of the story, it is certainly about the last vestige of human ingenuity dying and leaving behind a world cleansed of the filth that is humans. But here we have, even after this, a wall remaining. A wall symbolizing the inability to move forward, which thrice a day barks out humans' last ultimatum to the universe. Calendars are a human invention to try and define the passing of time in the universe, and humanity's last words to the universe is to claim that even with them gone, it is still beholden to the rules we made up for it. 3 impotent shouts into a world not listening to our nonsense. A wall standing like a tombstone to mark our grave. Or, at least, that's the pessimist's reading. An optimist would see a world that moves on without us. Sure, our dogs die, as they likely would without humans to take care of them, But lonely birds, foxes, and cats continue on to repopulate the Earth. Perhaps someday there will be intelligent life here again. Perhaps that life will look at our remains and learn from our mistakes. Who can say? In the end, it's far from a bad read. I think some more thought should have gone into it, but that's just me. Tell me what you think in the comments. This has been Riley, and y'all nerds have a lovely day.